In today's video, we're going to be back out exploring the Isle of Arran in Scotland.
We're showing you two unique coastal locations on both opposite sides of the island. We're going to be showing you a tomb fit for a giant and a cave fit for a king. So stick around as we explore these two coastal locations on the island known as Scotland in miniature.
They are singing to the tune of a song, and the wind is gently ringing the bell that brings the morning. Welcome of the dawn.
What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new around here, my name is Kyle.
And I'm Hayley.
And today is our second episode out here on the Isle of Arran in Scotland. Okay, so episode 2 out here on the Isle of Arran. The plan for today is to show you guys two separate sides of the island. We're actually going to be starting on the east coast today, and we're going to be looking into a pretty cool wooded area. There's an ancient burial site we're going to go and check out together, and then a little bit later on there's some of the finest waterfalls you can find on the island, so we're going to explore those together. And then a little bit later on in the episode we're going to be taking you across to the west side of the island, where we're going to go check out somewhere called King's Caves, which is another pretty stunning woodland area, and then there's a coastal location we're going to explore together as well. So if that sounds like fun, get your walking boots on, let's get into this.
Let's talk car park there. Right, let's talk car parks. There is a couple of spots along the A841 in Whiting Bay. We've parked just before the bridge. That being said, there is no dedicated car park for this walk, so that means there are no facilities, no toilets, no cafes, things like that. So make sure you go for a wee beforehand, and make sure to take your own drinks with you, because you probably won't be able to get anything along the route.
So the route for this first half at least is not too long. I think it's about 1.5 to 3 miles. It's a circular route that you can do that takes in both the Neolithic burial site and also the waterfalls. We're starting today, I'm already out of breath, on quite an uphill zigzag to get to the top, because we're going to show you guys the burial site first. This is a site called the Giant's Graves, so we'll tell you a little bit more about it when we get up there eventually. So we're going to crack on, get to the top, we'll probably catch up with you there. So these then are known as the Giant's Graves. They're actually Neolithic chambered burial tombs. They date back about 5,000 years, and they've got some cracking views out looking over towards Lamlash. It's about 120 metres up above the sea here, and also some great views overlooking Holy Isle. Now, I came here a little while ago I say a little while ago, it was several years ago, and actually this whole area was wooded, and I used to actually quite like it when it was dense and deep in the woods. It used to add to the ambience a little bit, but now they've cleared a lot of the trees and you've got these cracking views out over the ocean. So if you're in this area, you've definitely got to come and check this out. It's a nice little bit of history with some great views as well. I believe at that ancient burial site they found like fragments of pottery and arrowheads and a few other bits and bobs like you would expect from an ancient burial site. But the giants' graves are only 2 of I think about 20 Neolithic burial sites on the island. So if you're looking for that kind of thing, you've got quite a lot of choice. Anyway, we are cracking on now. It's very hot, so we're going to head now off the hillside. We're going to try and get down into the woods, and we're going to head to a place called Glenashdale Falls, which we're going to need. Hopefully it should cool us off a bit.
Right, so we've come out of the scorching hot heat and we're now in the coolness of the forest. Welcome to Glenashdale Falls, everyone. So right behind me is Glenashdale Falls. It has a 45-metre drop and is a 2-tier waterfall. It's considered to be one of the most spectacular waterfalls across the whole island.
I think this has to be one of the highlights of the trip so far. I know we're only a couple episodes in, but this waterfall is huge. It's almost on par with some of the ones that we've seen in Iceland.
It's just like the view that they've created, like the little balcony is just absolutely spectacular.
It's a perfect little spot.
Yeah.
It's a bit precarious. The dog is less than happy. He doesn't like bridges. This is the tallest of bridges. If you don't mind heights, come to this balcony. You will not be disappointed. Right then gang, that was Glenashdale Falls. Easily my favourite part so far, and the Giant's Graves were equally interesting. We're now going to hop into our car. And where are we going next?
We're going to the other coast and we're heading to a place called King's Cave.
Yep, we've done the east coast, now we're going to the west coast. Let's see which one's better, shall we?
Yes.
Come on. You now join us on the west coast of the island. I'll throw it up on the map so you can see where we are now, but we've come to a place called King's Caves, and hopefully there's going to be some spectacular caves for us to check out, a bit of history inside. But before we get there, we've got what looks to be a really nice woodland walk ahead of us. Car park queen. What are we saying about the car park situation?
So there is a free dedicated car park to this walk.
Yep. Not too many cars could fit in that.
No, there was a
probably
motorhome.
About 10.
There was a motorhome kind of like plonked in the middle of it, taking up a fair chunk.
Van life, is eh?
Yeah. So I guess it wasn't too bad really though,
No,
all being said.
It will probably get busy in the summer months,
Yeah.
but there's only a handful of cars here. Also, no real facilities on site. The nearest toilets is Blackwaterfoot, which is the village, I think just a couple miles down the road. So,
Yeah.
you know, you're out in the sticks, if you need a wee, well, you have to go in the bushes. Right gang, I think we're going to call it for today because the rain is coming in. Spoke too soon about all the good weather. It has been a week of just hot weather, hasn't it? So I suppose it has to break at some point. Looks like there's an awful lot of thunder and lightning coming in. Hello, there's no exposure there. And famously, as we always say, none of our gear is waterproof. So I think what we're going to do is probably reset and show you guys this place tomorrow. I do love a good woodland, and I'm so far super impressed with this one. It's kind of textbook fairy tale really. We'll have put some footage in by now, but there's loads of different coloured mosses all across the floor. There's sort of like both red and green coloured mosses. It's also all hanging off the trees, and then also the forest floor is just littered with mushrooms. So we've come sort of about mushroom season actually, so I guess we're lucky with that, but super impressed with this place. Definitely recommend it.
Right, so we've just left the forest and we're now heading out down to the beach. It's sort of like opened up. It might get a little bit steep as we head down, but we'll see. Hopefully we'll be okay. I'm sure we'll be fine. And let's head down to the cave.
Well, after a good week or so walking on the island, we definitely needed sticks to get down that. We'd recommend you guys maybe do the same. But we got down to the bottom, we've made it. Welcome everyone to King's Cave. How cool is it in here?
Really cool. It's so weird. It's like little rocks on top of rocks on top of rocks. It's kind of a bit strange and...
Everyone's sort of left their own bit.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll add to it, but it certainly adds to the atmosphere of this place. This is inside at least part of King's Cave. I know there's a little bit further down the coast that we're going to go and explore. Well, it's just a few metres back that way, I think. So we're going to check that out as well. But this is just the first bit that we've stumbled across.
It's really cool. It's like the scale of it is pretty big as well.
There's a load of drawings and stuff on the wall.
Oh yeah.
I'll go and check those out.
Didn't notice that.
The roof's kind of dripping. Cool little spot to hunker down in bad weather, I imagine. Yeah, pretty impressed so far though. Is this the entrance?
This is the entrance. It looks really cool. It looks kind of regal. It's sort of like done in a bit of a castle with its turrets. They kind of look like spears as well, so it's really cool.
It's a spiky old gate.
Yeah.
I don't know what's beyond this bit. Not really seen a lot of it. I did a little bit of research as usual. I don't fully know what's inside, so got a big torch. Let's go and explore it together.
Wow.
Okay, I'm heading out of the cave a little bit to tell you guys, because it's a bit brighter, some facts about why this place is called King's Cave. And this was apparently the refuge of Robert the Bruce, who famously took up the First War of Independence for Scotland against England. Now, apparently he hid out here. I think he was on the run for a little bit, and he famously hung out in this cave for a little bit. Now, we clocked a spider up on the gate there, which we thought initially was just like for Halloween decoration, but apparently the story goes that inside the cave Robert the Bruce saw a spider repeatedly fail to make a web, but it did eventually succeed, and it did eventually make that web. And apparently that inspired Robert the Bruce to not give up, and he did eventually go on to take the throne for Scotland. So what's the message for the people at home?
Don't give up on your dreams.
Right, gang, we're going to wrap up for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed that, showing you two completely different sides of the Isle of Arran. Let us know down below in the comments, which side did you prefer? Did you prefer the east coast, which was Glenashdale Falls, or did you prefer the King's Caves on the west coast? For me, I preferred the waterfalls. They were pretty spectacular.
Yeah, the waterfalls are pretty cool, but I got to say the woodland here for me was probably one of my favourite parts.
That's true. And if you like beaches, it's a bit of a rocky beach, but it's a nice beach as well.
Yeah. We also have a episode 3 coming out, so make sure you stay tuned for that.
It should be out in a couple of weeks if you're watching this on the day of release.
So if you enjoyed this video, please give us a big thumbs up.
And if you like looking about faces and you want to see more content just like this from Scotland, make sure you are subscribed. It's that little subscribe button just down there. It's free to do, really helps out the channel, and that way it should guarantee that you see us and our faces in the next episode. So until then,
we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Peace. Join us again next time for our third and final episode. We'll be leaving the shores of Arran behind on a boat trip to Holy Isle. We'll discover unique wildlife, the history of the island, and tackle the scramble to the summit. All that and more in the next episode exploring the Isle of Arran.